She told me about the conference, and I smiled while folding her shirts, tucking each corner with careful fingers, as if the small ritual could hold us together. She hummed a light tune and rehearsed the same line. Everything's fine, like practice could make it true. Then I noticed a little white packet slip into her toiletry bag. The label said birth control. A numbness spread through me I couldn't name. I'd had a vasectomy 6 months earlier. She'd been beside me at the clinic. Squeezed my hand, told me it was for us. So why pills? I didn't confront her. I held the packet a beat longer, watching the way the lamp caught the print. My face stayed composed, my hands steady, but my head raced. There had been clues I'd ignored. Changed passwords, late nights at the office, a new scent that hung in the air like a question. The distant politeness she'd started using, the kind that turned a spouse into a stranger, had settled into the house like an uninvited guest. Still, hope had dulled the edges. Love makes fools of men. That packet was where the surface cracked. While she showered the night before the trip, I opened her suitcase again with a calm I barely recognized. I swapped the pills for capsules that looked identical but carried a different purpose. A fast-acting laxative, harsh and unforgiving. I zipped the bag closed, went back to bed, and wore the mask of the unchanged partner. When she asked for a charger, I handed it over and kissed her forehead. "Good luck at the conference," I said. She returned to practice. Hollow smile. "Thanks, babe," and left. After that, she went silent. The kind of silence that used to make me worry now felt like the echo of a guilty conscience. Days later, I scrolled through social media and found the photo. Her in a deep red dress at a corporate dinner, laughing into a glass among colleagues. Sympathetic comments lined the post. Praise for her strength, well wishes. And between the lines, I built a narrative. She'd been struck down at the event, suddenly and violently. They called it food poisoning. She collapsed in front of the regional director, the same man she'd been staying late with for months. I pictured the color draining from her face, her hands trembling as she tried to collect herself, the humiliation under fluorescent lights. It landed like a small, precise justice. But revenge, I learned, isn't a single clap of thunder. It's an edifice constructed patient. So I built. While she recuperated, distracted and exposed, I moved the financial bones of our life with quiet efficiency. I accessed the joint accounts and shifted money into places she wouldn't easily reach. I checked what she didn't know. The house title, the car lease, the corporate accounts. I put them inside structures I controlled. Then, with clinical distance, I drafted an email to her HR, professional, spare, anonymous, attaching screenshots, forwarded messages, hotel receipts, the evidence I'd gathered, things she never thought I could obtain. The subject line was careful. Inappropriate conduct during company conference. I hit send. A week later, she came home drawn and frightened. "I'm suspended," she said, brittle with disbelief. "Someone reported me." She looked at me like a child seeking comfort. I offered none. "Maybe it's the best," I said softly. She sobbed, insisting she didn't know who would do such a thing. By then, I'd already set the legal framework in motion. The lawyer she thought represented her had been quietly answering to mine. The house she begged me to help furnish would remain mine. Credit cards in her name were frozen. She'd assumed trust covered blind spots. She had miscalculated me. In anger, people make hasty, messy decisions. I gave nothing away. I moved more pieces the night she left. Suitcase in hand, mascara streaking her cheeks. I watched her go without a word. Outside, her car stalled on a cold, indifferent street. A small mechanical irritation. Nothing dangerous. Perfectly in tune with the mood I wanted to mirror. Papers were signed. Accounts divided. She called once afterward, voice raw, pleading for understanding. "It was a mistake," she cried. "It meant nothing." I let the line hum with the weight of what had been broken. When I finally asked, was it worth it? She wept, and the sound folded into emptiness. On the day the divorce became final, I stood in the room where she'd packed for that conference months before. The scent that had lived in the drawers was gone. Her laugh, the sound that used to fill the corners of the house, had evaporated. Only the hush remained, and within it a strange satisfaction, the end of a long, careful calculation. I opened the drawer where the packet had Saturday. It was empty, an absence both literal and symbolic. This was when I stopped being the man who believed and became the man who enforced consequence. Revenge, I told myself, wasn't cruelty for its own sake. It was restoration. Piece by piece, I rebuilt what she had broken. The structure now stood cold, ordered, immovable.